Hey guys, Old Guy Gaming here, back again, and tonight we're going to be discussing getting games from eBay and how I prep them once I purchase them from eBay. So the first thing I would like to take note of real quick, I'm lucky enough that I have three really good local vendors near me that sell old retro gaming. I've got an old CD warehouse near me that has a retro gaming section. I have a retro shop that's really focused on like the 80s and 90s kind of stuff that has gaming as well. And then I have the Warp Zone, which is near me, which is a dedicated retro gaming section. So normally whenever I purchase games, that is where I go to get them for a couple of reasons. The first and foremost is if I have a game that doesn't work, no matter how much I clean it, I can take it back and I can go get another copy of said game, which you can't always do with auctions or something like that you order from online. However, you do get the opportunity to find some really good deals sometimes on eBay. So I've actually been holding on to this for a day, but I got this in the mail today from eBay. I am going to drop a picture right over here of the auction, but basically what it is, it's 20 games for the Atari 2600 that I purchased for $14 and some change. So basically coming out to less than $1 a game, and that is a really, really good deal. It's something I probably couldn't find locally. Now, I will take note that of the 20 games that are in this lot, 5 of them I already own. Now, that's not to say that I still wasn't attracted to the offer, the auction, because of the other 15 games involved, but the 5 games that I do have, a couple of them I think are going to be in better condition. And this kind of gets into the, well, I have a game that functions and works, but the label's a little messed up. There's a rip or a tear, or especially in the case of the Atari 2600, the old Activision games, like the adhesive that they use to put on the game itself simply bleeds through. So you get all these weird dark colors that are bleeding through the label. So my hope is that a couple of the games that I have in there actually have better labels, and those would be the ones I want to keep for my collection. The better the label, the more I'm inclined to keep it. This also goes into the brief topic of a play copy and a collection copy. I'm not at the moment currently interested in ordering or getting new in the box, like old ancient games from the 70s and 80s that have never been opened. But someday I might want to add something like that to my collection. But ideally, the whole reason why I'm collecting is because I want to play these games. I want to play them on my console. So there is something to be said for having a clean, pristine copy of a game sitting in your collection on a shelf, looking great in your collection. But whenever you want to sit down and play it, if you have it in the box and it's sealed, you obviously don't want to break open a sealed copy of a game. So how do you play it? Well, you have a play copy of that game, which maybe the label's not the best, especially in the case of the old like NES carts. Like maybe someone went through with magic marker and put their name on, like Billy's Game or whatever. The label doesn't look that great, but functionally the cart still works. It still gives you the opportunity to have a cool one in your collection. That's the display one, and the one when you toss into your console whenever you're playing it. So without further ado, we're going to go to the bench cam and we're going to go ahead and take a look. I'm literally going to open it on camera for you guys so you can kind of see everything we get and see the conditions that they come in. So let's move on to the bench cam, shall we? Alright, so here we are at the bench cam, and here is the box. I've of course blotted out all the important information from the seller and myself, so I don't have my own personal address. One of the couple things I'll take note of real quick, something I always do, and I know I ender every single video with this, but I genuinely mean this: clean your carts, guys. So this is something you want to pick up. There's 2 different types, but there's actually several different types of rubbing alcohol. Try to get the highest alcohol content you get for the isopropyl alcohol. This is going to be fantastic for cleaning all carts. My anticipation is that the auction that I purchased didn't say clean and tested, and even the ones that do, you still want to do this. You're never quite sure the condition of the carts for the most part, unless something's functionally wrong with the chip. A good solid cleaning will keep most cartridge-based games in the clean. So some isopropyl alcohol, some Q-tips, and a good solid cleaning will always keep those carts up and running and functioning. So let's go ahead and just crack this open. I've been waiting to do this. I literally, like I said in the preamble, I did get this yesterday, and I've had to hold it back for today's opening. So I genuinely do not know the condition of what I'm going to find. There is some paperwork here that I will remove off camera so that doesn't show any personal information for the seller. and let's take a look and see what we got in here. Alright, so he did a pretty good job of packing it. Some nice bubble wrap, that's nice. Keep the games all nice in condition, and there we go. Alright, so these are the games that I purchased from him. The first game, of course, I do not own this one. Super Breakout. The label looks pretty clean. It does, however, have the end cap. I knew that going in, so this may end up being a play copy or may end up in my collections to trade. So we'll go ahead and get into that one later. Let's keep going. A game I have never played by US Games. This is Commando Raid. Really looking forward to doing a video on this one. I don't remember owning too many US games in the past. They have a little bit more of a unique look on their carts, so looking forward to that one. This is the game that I bought the whole auction for. This is the whole reason why I wanted this. Haunted House, one of my favorite games. The label is pretty good from the looks of things. Does seem to be a little bit of bleed through. If you take a look, you can maybe see some of that. Some of the bleed through, that adhesive on the back, but still a pretty solid, good looking game. The game that ended it all for poor Atari, the old Pac-Man port on this one. The front label's kind of good. Again, you can see some of that bleed through going through on the label, but overall not that bad. Probably want to pick up a better copy, but heck, when I paid less than $1 for it, what can you do? Another US Games. Never owned this one before or played this game before either, so really looking forward to this one. Towering Inferno. The front label also really sharp. This thing looks almost brand new, so just judging from what I can see from the contacts, they look pretty clean too, but we'll take a look. What else do we got in here? Aha! Demons to Diamonds. Another game I've never played. Does get the opportunity to use the paddles, so I'm really looking forward to that. And of course the front label, let's see if I can get that the camera for you, looking relatively sharp, so really looking forward to that. I'll have to get into how to clean. It's really easy to clean the games, like let's go to the US Games, where you can actually see the contacts and get right in there and clean them. Atari went through the extra effort of putting a dust cover on these, so there is a trick. You have to get these open to get to the card itself and get to the contacts for cleaning them. I'll show that in a separate video on how to clean those. What else do we got in here? So this is one of the things I was hoping for, Chopper Command. Now, I own this game already, however, I don't care for the label, and I was hoping, beyond hope, that the label on this one was much better, and it is. There is some of the bleed from the adhesive coming through on the sides that you can see, but not nearly as bad as the copy that I currently have, so that's pretty cool. Here we go. Some of the M Network ones, Frogs and Flies. Not much to say on this one as far as the labels are concerned. The only thing you have to worry about are the labels on the front, and that looks pretty sharp. And another game I've never played, so really looking forward to that one. Keeping on with the M Network one, Astroblast. Never played this game before either. Looking forward to giving this one a try. There's a whole bunch of games. That's half the reason why I got this lot, was because there's a whole bunch of games I never played. Super Challenge Football. Now, I was a real sports guy myself, so I never played the M Network version of this. I'm looking forward to playing this one as well. What else do we have in here? So there is a copy of Combat, and it is an art copy, but I love the copy that I currently have, and this label is kind of ripped. So this one's obviously going to go onto the trade, sell, pay it forward pile. This one is definitely a game I do not need, but I'll still clean it up and get it ready for the next person who's going to get it. What else do we have in here? Another copy of Warlords. Great game. I think, and I'll have to go and compare it with my other one, I think the label on mine is better. So this may, again, be another one of the games that goes into the pay it forward pile. What else do we got? We got a couple of Activision classics. Grand Prix, and the label on this is relatively sharp. A little bit of a nick there. Really wish that wasn't there, but the front label is really pretty good. So looking forward to that one. Now this was the other crown jewel of this one, Kaboom from Activision, and that label is perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely gorgeous. There's a hair of bleed through on that lower corner, but other than that, the cartridge looks fantastic. What else do we got in here? The rest of these are going to be games well, there is one here. So there is a copy of the game Star Master, which I already own, and I actually love the label, but this one is still pretty good. Yeah, no, that's a really sharp cartridge. I might have to move that on to another fellow Atari enthusiast, because this is actually a really good game and a really good copy of it. What else do we got? Night Driver. I don't ever recall playing this game. Now, the label is a little nicked up, but, you know, when you pay less than $1 for it, what can you expect? But overall, good-looking label, good-looking game. Pole position. Now, this one's a little bit rougher just looking at it from the... It looks like there's some... I don't know, there's some schmutz or something on there. There is something on the label. I think I can clean that off. I will give that a try and try cleaning that up. But again, another great game by Atari. Looking forward to trying that one out. Now, of course, I already own a copy of Missile Command, but I don't care for the label. This one here looks much cleaner, much better, almost perfect. A little bit of dust that I think I can clean up, so hopefully if the game works, that'll clean up just nicely. Another copy of a classic game, Space Invaders. The label is actually really good. I think it's better than mine. There is a little something on the front, I think. This is a sticker from someone putting the prices. If you own a retro game shop, please don't put the sticker on the front of Atari ones. It pulls these right off. I think a little bit of Goo Gone will get that right off. And this might be my new play copy of Space Invaders. Although I am noticing, just as I'm looking at it, it looks like the dust shield's a little loose. So maybe not. We'll have to see if we can repair that. Take a look. And, oh no, I dropped one. And the last and final game, Star Voyager, another game from iMagic. I've never played this game. Looking forward to this one. It is, of course, the silver label and not the art label that I prefer. So this is probably going to go. I'm probably going to end up replacing this game. But for the moment, it is a game I currently do not own until now. So looking forward to playing that. So let's go over real quick. I'm going to do one. I'm not going to go through all of them because that'd be kind of boring. And since Star Voyager is here, this is relatively easy. But how to clean these carts. So if you take a look inside here, you can obviously see it. I'm going to try to do the best of the camera. That is actually the board. That's the chip right here that actually runs the entire game. And there are some brass ends on here. And how to clean these up is really easy. Take your, preferably the highest quality isopropyl alcohol you can get. I've got 91 here. The other 9% are those fillers that they put in that you're really not supposed to drink this stuff. And the other stuff is water. Oh, I haven't even taken the cap off mine. Look at that, we'll go through here. The whole thing, I just bought this today just for the purposes here. But cleaning these carts is relatively simple. So you're going to take yourself a Q-tip. You're going to generously put it on. You don't want it dripping wet because that other 9% in there does include water and you don't want to damage your game. But literally, cleaning these games, take your Q-tip right off of those brass contacts. And just rub it off. And I can absolutely see the gunk already coming off of this cartridge and coming off these contacts. Catch both sides. For the Atari ones, they're really hard to get the underside because for some reason it's closer to the top than it is the bottom. Closer to the plastic, that is, which makes it really difficult to get in there. But I mean, really get in there, really get onto those contacts. They are made of brass. I mean, I've heard... And I've done this one myself. You can, if you get some really thick corrosion on there, you can get in there with a pencil. The eraser from a pencil is a fantastic removal tool to get some of that off. And let's just clean some of the dust off on the inside here. But you can just take a look, like all of that gunk. All of that gunk came off of that cartridge. So I don't know the condition that it was in whenever he sold it, if it was working at the time, but it is absolutely crystal clear now. We're going to clean all the rest of the dust out of here just to make sure. And then you want to let this dry. Alcohol will of course evaporate off, so just get all the dust out of there, and then you will have a brand new, and I can tell just by looking at it, brand new functioning. But look at all the gunk that came out of it. That's just gross. All that stuff came off of just one game. So let's try another one real quick. Let's get one of the M Network ones here without making too much of a mess. Similar situation. A little bit of alcohol. Right onto the brass. Right onto those contacts. Really get in there. Don't be afraid to put a little pressure on there to kind of help off some of that corrosion, dust, and gunk, to get all of that off. And we've got a clean cart. And again, look at all the gunk. Let's see if it'll focus in for you. Look at all the gunk that came off there. It's just gross. But that is, of course, when you have cartridges that are 35, 40 years old, you have got years of corrosion built up on those. So hopefully you find that useful. I am going to go ahead and test all these out on my 2600 and see how they play, and I will let you know. I'm going to go through and clean the rest of these, and I will let you know how they do at the end. Okay, so I am back from the Atari. All 20 games worked. Some of them required a significant amount of cleaning. Some of the gunk and grime that came off of those was pretty impressive, specifically the pole position one. Holy cow, the entire Q-tip was completely black when I was done. However, I did toss it into the 2600. All of them function, all of them work. So I have added 15 new games. 2 of the games that I had copies of ended up being better quality copies of the games with better labels. So those are going to go into my collection. The other ones are going to move on to the either the pay it forward pile, or if I ever decide to sell them, I don't know if I'm going to go like. I think I've got some paying it forward to do with all of the love that's come out of the Atari Age forums. So I do want to pay that back. So that's going to do it for this video. Next week I'm going to go into the game that was donated to me by a member of the Atari Age forum, because that's the one they wanted to have reviewed. And when you send me a free game, you get bumped up to the top of the list to have a game review. So that's going to come up. That's going to do it for this video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, always helps out the channel. And until next time, as it has clearly been noted in this video, always keep your cards clean.